So 2019 is nearly done. Hopefully you've had a lovely Christmas day. But before the year's wrapped up, Rob and I wanted to look back on what's gone right for us this year, but also, probably more importantly, what hasn't, and what we can learn from it.
Welcome to the Property Podcast, where every Thursday, and we do mean every Thursday, even if it's Boxing Day, property investors come to be informed and inspired. Today you might be feeling a bit full, a bit sleepy, but we're going to try and wake you up by reminding you of everything that's happened this year and sharing some of our highs and lows and the lessons we've learned from a very eventful year.
You know what? This time of year is a great time to reflect on things and look back, because it's looking back can help you make better decisions moving forward. And it's been a really interesting year. I mean, you can use other words than interesting. For all of us, a lot has happened this year, and some would argue that nothing's really happened, but it's been eventful at the very least. So we're going to reflect back on the general market and also what's been happening for us and giving you our thoughts on it all.
So let's start broad, and obviously the biggest story of this year, but also the one where a shockingly small amount has actually happened, is Brexit. And we don't have to go into any detail about that because I don't think it would make us any happier or cast any light on things. But everything that's going on politically has set the tone for everything that's going on in the property market specifically, which we'll come to in a bit. The bright spot in all that, and because we had a general election going on as well, means that we didn't have a budget this year. So at least there was nothing to worry about there.
So overall, in terms of property prices, Rob, it's not been that eventful. Something that we covered on our predictions review show last week. It's positive. The market is up overall. The southeast of London are down slightly, but no drama. And that's okay. We can take a year like that. And it kind of fits into where we'd expect to be in the 18-year property cycle. You know, we're in that mid-cycle wobble territory, so it shouldn't be that exciting. And you could say that London certainly is wobbling the most out of all the areas, but not to a point that if you've got property there, you need to panic or worry. And actually, the next phase of the cycle is something we can be quite excited by.
Yep, and we'll be talking about that over the next few weeks. Something else that happened this year, which was kind of trailed as a big event, but I don't think it really turned out to be in the end, was the tenant fee ban. So that had been in the works for a long time. It certainly wasn't sprung on us overnight, but finally the ban on charging fees to tenants came in. Was it the end of days as people had predicted? No, surprisingly not. There was a bit of readjustment required, but nothing major. And the argument that those fees would just turn into higher rents and tenants would bear the brunt of them anyway, unsurprisingly, turned out not to be the case. Because, like property prices, rents have been pretty flat this year as well.
So overall, Rob, the property market has behaved itself, really, which is useful because we've had enough on our plates going on in 2019. It's been a very busy year, our busiest and biggest yet. With that comes, rewards and also massive challenges.
Yeah, the most obvious thing that's happened this year, and for me the most positive, was the rebrand that we did right back at the end of January. We're talking about this with our team the other week and we couldn't believe it was actually this year. It feels like we've been Property Hub forever. And while the Property Hub name has been around for a few years, bringing all our various businesses together as Property Hub in terms of the brand and doing all the work behind the scenes to actually integrate everything into one company as well. It was a massive undertaking that we're still working on now, but the rebrand part was really exciting. It's something we'd been working on for a long time, so to actually get to unveil it was a real highlight of the year.
Yeah, it was huge. It felt like we really came home this year. It's a weird thing to say, but it never felt quite right before, and I never thought the rebrand would make that impact. Not just externally with how people see us and they're able to understand what we do. And we got so much feedback around that. Like people saying things like, yes, this makes sense. You guys should have done this years ago, which, it's a bit crazy that we haven't really. But even internally as well for ourselves, we feel a lot more together as a group, as a company. And of course, there's lots of challenges when you restructure what were reasonably separate businesses before into one big team. But it has been one of the best business decisions we've ever made, and I'm so glad we've done it. And it was done really well. And I can say that because I had minimal involvement in it. Rob, you can take the plaudits for that one. And the people in the team that you work with did a great job there.
And something else that happened this year, which neither of us can take credit for, because it just magically happened while we were both on holiday, was that we moved office. We moved our head office right into the middle of Manchester city centre. Fantastic location, fantastic building. And Rob, again, hard to believe that's less than a year that we've been there.
I know, another move that again, has been so positive. Warrington was great. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Warrington. The transport links are fantastic. But moving to Manchester and then going on a big expansion spree there has been awesome. What a city. And I'm a Scouser. So to be such a fan of Manchester now is a bit bonkers to me, but I am. It's got a buzz, it's got an atmosphere, we're right in the thick of the action. The relationships that we've been able to build and the things we've been able to do because of being in Manchester has been great. And while that's been great for us as a business, I think it's great for the people who've invested in Manchester over the last few years because, trust us, being on the front line, seeing what's happening there, it's so impressive. Wonderful city, and I think wonderful things to come as well.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed spending time there this year. And something that I wouldn't say I enjoyed at the start, but have come to like, is actually being on camera and filming stuff for our YouTube channel, which we sort of had before. We just kind of chucked up the audio over the podcasts. But this year, we actually made the move in front of the camera and started releasing dedicated videos, as well as having all our Property Hub University courses on there as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm quite at like level yet, but I'm getting there. I enjoy YouTube as a consumer now, and that this year has been a big year for me in terms of getting into YouTube. And I really do believe in it as a platform, as a channel, and a way of us getting across even more education and helping even more people. So it's absolutely a positive thing to do. There's a lot of nonsense on there as well. So when you are searching on YouTube for property stuff, it's not because we're trying to say everything else is rubbish. There's loads of good stuff, but there is loads of nonsense as well. A lot of get-rich-quick nonsense is on YouTube. Just make sure you avoid that stuff.
And if you're a creator on YouTube, for your own sanity, never read the comments. That's how I keep turning up and doing it.
Yeah, people who leave podcast reviews are a lot nicer.
Luckily, our team's pretty quick on the delete button, so I don't think we've even seen the worst of it. So there have been lots of positives this year, and it's in our nature to focus on the positives. But there's been a lot of hard stuff as well. It's actually been a really difficult year. And the most obviously noticeably difficult thing, Rob, was our development at Grand Junction, which we podcasted about a few months back.
That, in terms of business, has been one of the hardest things for me personally. I do take responsibility for that site, and I've learned a lot from it. It's been really painful. It's challenged me. And up until this year, business has always been within my comfort zone. With all the growth that we've had and all we've done, I've felt comfortable. This is the first year that I've felt stretched and challenged and occasionally frazzled. And you know what? Now, at the end of the year, I'm okay with that. I'm all right. I'm going to have a break and come back next year stronger. But I'm going to make sure I learn from it all as well. So obviously, Grand Junction is built, is beautiful, and the people who own on there are very lucky. They've got a beautiful product that we spent far too much money on, but they've won. That's okay. That makes me content that I can walk off my head held high. Grand Junction is a beautiful development, and it's actually surpassed my expectations now it's completed. It's a really, really lovely development.
And because I wanted a little bit more of that pain, I got involved in my own development this year as well, just outside York, which wasn't as challenging, but was still plenty stressful. And similarly, ended up with a great product. The investors there are finding that they're renting brilliantly. The owner-occupiers who are living there are very happy, but financially not worth it. And in terms of years taken off my life, not sure if it was worth it either. But the positive is that when we have situations that are difficult, we can learn from those and we can share those lessons with you. So we've recorded dedicated episodes about both of those development projects, which you'll find links to in the show notes.
So overall, Rob, how's 2019 been for you?
On a personal level, it's been really good. I've not been travelling as much as usual, but still got away and feeling very settled and enjoying life in terms of health and fitness and social things. It's been great. But it definitely has been the toughest year that I've had in business. It's felt like hard work a lot of the time, and we have had a lot to deal with. But again, spinning that round to a positive, I feel like I've really grown this year because of that. I've definitely developed new strengths and increased my ability to deal with difficult situations as a result of that. And I know you have as well, Rob, because while maybe it would be great if everything was amazing all the time, you learn so much more and you grow so much more when the going is tough.
You do. And when you look back on years gone by in your life and you look at those challenging moments, I've always seen them, certainly years later, as pivotal in my life and how I've gone on to use those things to become stronger, more educated. And while this year has been challenging, and I do believe it's been a pivotal year, it's been a successful year as well. And I'm grateful overall. What I don't want to come across as is sound moany or regretful for 2019, because I'm very lucky. The things I get to do every day are the things I want to do. There is no alternative. All right, maybe managing Liverpool Football Club, but there is, other than that, no alternative that I'd rather be doing. I love what we're doing with Property Hub in terms of all the things we're doing and all the things that we want to do in the future. It's so exciting. The team that we have are incredible, and we're very lucky to be part of that.
We are, and we're very lucky as well to have had you listening to the podcast this year. So thank you for being with us throughout 2019. That's this year done. I really hope you enjoy the rest of the festive period. Hope things with your family aren't getting too tense just yet. And we'll be back to do it all again in 2020. So make sure you join us next Thursday, 2nd of January, for our first episode of a brand new year. And it'll be a good one.
And there's plenty to be excited by in 2020. We're going to hopefully start strong. We've got our predictions episode and our hotspots of 2020. And they always seem to be one of the most popular podcasts we do each year. So if you want to know where we think is hot and not in 2020, make sure you listen out for them. So have a wonderful new year, everyone. Here's to a fantastic 2020. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.